I stared at my phone, the Instagram notification mocking me with its cheerful ping. There they were, my parents, my sister Rachel and her perfect husband Mark, all posing in front of the Eiffel Tower. #family vacation, #blessed life, #perfect family. The irony was almost funny. Almost. The vacation they were enjoying? I'd paid for it. Every single penny of it. Just like I'd been paying for everything else in their lives for the past year. $1,000 a week. That's what I'd been transferring to their account, no questions asked, ever since Dad lost his job at the investment firm. Just until I get back on my feet, he'd said. That was 12 months and $52,000 ago. I scrolled through more photos. Mom in designer outfits I recognized from the credit card statements. Rachel and Mark at fancy restaurants I was effectively bankrolling. Even their hotel, the Four Seasons Paris, had been booked using my airline miles. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Paris is magnificent. Rachel says hi. No mention of why they hadn't invited me. No acknowledgement that their family vacation excluded the person making it possible. I typed back, looks amazing. Funny, I don't remember getting an invitation. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, oh honey, we didn't think you'd be interested. You're always so busy with work. Right. Because running a successful tech company meant I wouldn't want to spend time with my family. The same family I'd been supporting for a year. I called Dad directly. He answered on the 4th ring, sounding irritated. Alex, we're about to go to dinner. Can this wait? Sure. I kept my voice neutral. Just wondering why I wasn't invited on the family trip I'm paying for. Silence. Then in the background I heard Rachel's voice. Just tell him the truth, Dad. Fine. My father's tone changed, becoming the one he used to use when explaining why he wouldn't attend my science fairs or coding competitions. We don't want you there, Alex. You just complicate things. Complicate things? I repeated. How exactly would I complicate a vacation I'm funding? You know how you are, he sighed. Always talking about your company, your innovations. Rachel's husband just made partner at his law firm. We don't need you overshadowing their moment with your success. I looked around my office, the sleek, modern space overlooking Seattle's skyline. The multiple awards for technological innovation. The framed magazine covers featuring my company's achievements. So let me get this straight, I said slowly. You'll take my money, live in the house I'm paying for, drive the cars I'm maintaining, but you won't actually acknowledge my success in front of the family? Don't be dramatic. Mom's voice now. I was on speakerphone. We're very proud of you in our own way. It's just, Rachel and Mark are more traditional. Their success is more normal. Normal. There was the word they'd been using since I dropped out of law school to start my tech company. Since I chose innovation over their prescribed path of legal careers and country club memberships. I see, I said quietly. And the $1,000 a week I've been sending? Is that normal enough for you? That's different, Dad protested. That's just temporary help until dash. Until what? I interrupted. Until you can admit to your country club friends that your son's computer games actually built a billion-dollar company? Until you can explain why you're living off the success you never believed in. Rachel's voice cut in, sharp and familiar. This is exactly why we didn't invite you. You always have to make everything about you and your money. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. My money seems to be good enough for your first-class tickets and 5-star hotels. Listen, Dad's voice turned stern, like I was still a teenager presenting another ridiculous business idea. We don't want you here. Accept it and stop trying to buy your way into family acceptance. The words hit harder than they should have. After all these years, after all the success, they still couldn't see me as anything but the disappointment who chose a different path. Okay, I said finally. I accept it. And I think it's time for some changes. What's that supposed to mean? Mom's voice held a note of worry. Enjoy Paris, I replied. You have 24 hours before everything changes. I hung up, then turned to my computer. Time to show them exactly what complicating things really meant. The next few hours were a blur of calculated precision. First, I called my bank and canceled all recurring transfers to my parents' account. 4 years of business negotiations had taught me the importance of timing, and this timing needed to be perfect. Then I pulled up the extensive list of bills I'd been paying. Their mortgage, both car payments, country club membership, insurance policies, credit cards. Everything they'd come to depend on while maintaining the fiction that they weren't dependent on their disappointing son. My assistant, Sarah, knocked on my office door. "I have those documents you requested." She laid out a thick folder on my desk. Every financial transaction I'd made on their behalf over the past year. The total made me wince. $847,932. Not just the weekly transfers but all the emergency requests. Rachel's wedding contribution. Mom's new Mercedes. Dad's golf club membership. Should I proceed with Protocol Zero? Sarah asked. We'd established this contingency plan months ago, when I first noticed the pattern of their increasing demands and diminishing gratitude. Yes, I nodded. But first show me the live stream. Sarah pulled up the feed from their Paris hotel suite, not through any illegal means, but through the smart devices they'd insisted I buy them. Devices logged into my company's network, for security purposes. There they were, lounging in luxury. Rachel and Mark reviewing restaurant menus while Mom photographed her new Hermes bag for Instagram. Dad was on the phone with his country club friends, bragging about their suite's view of the Seine. The timing has to be perfect, I told Sarah. Wait until they're at dinner. While we waited, I reviewed the next phase of my plan. It wasn't just about cutting them off. It was about showing them exactly what they'd taken for granted. Sir, Sarah interrupted my thoughts, you should see this. She pulled up Mom's latest Instagram post. So blessed to have a real family vacation with the people who truly matter. Hashtag no tech nerds allowed. Hashtag traditional success. Hashtag family first. Something cold settled in my chest. After everything, the money, the support, the endless patience, they were still ashamed of me. Move up the timeline, I decided. Start now. Sarah nodded and began executing Protocol Zero. First, their hotel's front desk received notification that the credit card on file had been declined. All charges were to be directed to the room immediately. Next, their phones, the ones on my family plan, received a service termination notice. In Paris, international roaming charges would make them essentially useless. The smart home system I'd installed in their house back in Seattle began sending alerts. Security system deactivated. Climate control offline. Internet service terminated. But the real strike came in the form of emails, dozens of them, automatically triggered to every financial institution and service provider they used. To their mortgage company, payment authorization revoked. To the country club, membership terminated effective immediately. To their credit card companies, remove authorized user status. To their insurance providers, policy changes pending. Pull up the hotel feed again, I instructed Sarah. The scene had changed. Dad was arguing with someone on the hotel phone. Mom was frantically trying to refresh her Instagram. Rachel and Mark huddled over their phones, likely discovering they no longer had service. Then came the knock on their door, the hotel manager with questions about their payment arrangements. I watched as their perfect Parisian evening unraveled. The carefully maintained facade of independent success cracking under the weight of reality. Sir, Sarah said quietly, your sister is trying to email you through the hotel's business center. The message popped up. What did you do? Fix this immediately. You're ruining everything. I drafted a simple reply. I thought you didn't want me involved in the family vacation? I'm just respecting your wishes. Another email, this one from Dad. This is childish and unprofessional. We're your family. My response. Family? Interesting. I have a presentation from this morning you should see. I instructed Sarah to send them a link, accessible through the hotel's Wi-Fi. It opened to a PowerPoint titled Return on Investment, a financial analysis of family support. The presentation was brutal in its simplicity. Every dollar I'd given them. Every bill I'd paid. Every emergency I'd covered. All contrasted with screenshots of their social media posts mocking my career, their comments about my unusual success, their systematic exclusion of me from family events. The final slide held a simple message. Traditional success status. Terminated. Tech nerd status. Fully funded. Family vacation status. Complicated. The chaos that followed was both spectacular and precisely calculated. Within hours, their Paris dream vacation had transformed into a nightmare of declined cards, cancelled reservations, and rapidly dwindling options. My phone buzzed continuously with messages from various family members. Mom, honey, please. We didn't mean it like that. Rachel, you're being ridiculous. Mark's family will hear about this. Dad, this is no way for a son to treat his parents. I let them all go unanswered, instead watching through the hotel's security feed as they scrambled to salvage their situation. The Four Seasons management was politely but firmly requesting they either provide valid payment or vacate their suite. But I wasn't done yet. Sarah had prepared Phase 2 of Protocol Zero. Send it, I instructed. Moments later, every member of their social circle, the country club friends, Rachel's in-laws, their business associates, received a carefully crafted email. Dear friends and associates, in the interest of financial transparency, I feel compelled to clarify some misconceptions. For the past year, I have been providing comprehensive financial support to the Sterling family, including but not limited to weekly transfers of $1,000, full mortgage payments, vehicle payments and maintenance, country club memberships, credit card payments, current Paris vacation expenses. This support totals $847,932 over the past 12 months. I'm sharing this information because my family has consistently misrepresented their financial situation and the source of their lifestyle. As CEO of Sterling Tech Solutions, a company valued at $2.8 billion, I believed in supporting family. However, recent events have necessitated this disclosure. All financial support has now been terminated. Regards, Alexander Sterling, CEO Sterling Tech Solutions. The response was immediate. Their phones, now working only on hotel Wi-Fi, exploded with messages from shocked friends and acquaintances. The carefully maintained illusion of traditional success through law firms and country clubs shattered in an instant. Rachel's mother-in-law, a notorious social climber, was particularly vocal. You told us Mark's law firm's success was funding your lifestyle. How dare you deceive our family? But I had one final card to play. As they struggled to book economy flights home with their suddenly limited funds, I launched the last phase of my plan. Every major business publication received a press release. Sterling Tech Solutions announces $100 million innovation grant program for non-traditional entrepreneurs. The release detailed how my company would provide funding and support to individuals who, like me, chose to pursue success outside traditional paths. Special consideration would be given to those whose families had discouraged their dreams. The irony was perfect. Their shame about my career would now be permanently linked to a highly publicized program celebrating exactly what they tried to hide. Within hours, the story went viral. Business Insider posted, Tech CEO turns family rejection into $100 million opportunity for innovators. Forbes ran with, Sterling Tech Solutions, breaking traditional success barriers. My parents' social circle, already reeling from the financial revelations, now saw my embarrassing tech career splashed across every major business publication. Back in Paris, my family's situation had reached a crisis point. The hotel had moved them from their luxury suite to a basic room while they arranged their return travel. Their designer luggage sat packed by the door, their dreams of social media perfection thoroughly shattered. Finally, after 18 hours of chaos, I received an email from my father. The timestamp showed 3 a.m. Paris time. Alex, I don't know if you'll read this, but I need to try. Watching our life fall apart in the past day has been enlightening. Your mother hasn't stopped crying. Rachel's in-laws aren't speaking to her. Our friends are abandoning us faster than our credit limits. But that's not why I'm writing. I saw your innovation grant announcement. Reading about it, surrounded by the ruins of our fake life, I finally understood something. We were never ashamed of your success. We were ashamed of ourselves. Every time you achieved something extraordinary, it highlighted our own mediocrity. Every innovation you created made our traditional paths seem smaller. We couldn't celebrate your billions because it meant admitting our own failures. The money you gave us wasn't just financial support. It was a shield protecting us from facing our own inadequacies. We used it to maintain an illusion not just for others but for ourselves. When we said we didn't want you on this trip, it wasn't because you would complicate things. It was because your presence would have made it impossible to pretend. Impossible to act like we'd earned this luxury. Impossible to hide from the truth about who really built something meaningful in this family. I'm not asking for anything. You've taught us that lesson thoroughly. I just wanted you to know that in destroying our fake success, you've forced us to face some hard truths. Your disappointed father. Robert Sterling. I read the email 3 times before calling Sarah into my office. Your father's email shows remarkable self-awareness, she observed. Do you think it's genuine? I looked out over the Seattle skyline, remembering all the times I'd tried to share my dreams with them, all the dismissive responses, all the subtle and not-so-subtle rejections. Time will tell, I replied. But first let's make sure they get home. You're booking their flights? No. I smiled slightly. I'm sending them bus tickets. Economy class. Sometimes the longest journeys aren't measured in miles. I drafted a brief response to my father. Dad, self-awareness is a good first step. But real change requires more than words. When you're ready to build something genuine without my money, without pretense, without shame, let me know. Until then, enjoy the scenic route home. I hear bus tours can be quite enlightening. *Galax. P.S. The Innovation Grant Program's first recipient? A promising young developer whose parents cut her off for dropping out of law school. Sometimes the best revenge is helping others avoid our past pain. The next few weeks transformed not just my family, but the entire narrative around success and family expectations. The Innovation Grant Program received thousands of applications, each story echoing aspects of my own journey. My parents returned to Seattle to find their social circle irrevocably changed. The country club crowd, once their primary source of validation, now viewed them with a mixture of pity and contempt. Their carefully constructed world of traditional success had crumbled. Rachel and Mark faced their own reckonings. His law firm, uncomfortable with the publicity, quietly suggested he explore other opportunities. Their social media accounts, once filled with carefully curated displays of conventional achievement, fell silent.